So I get it, the team mentality thing that you want to be able to say that this stuff can't be revolutionary. It can't be, something new and trailblazing, but it has been. But it takes a lot of time to learn it. And unfortunately, when you first start, you're impatient like I was. When I was 20, I was very impatient. I wanted things to happen real fast for me because I didn't like where I was financially. I wanted to make changes, significant changes, like real quick. And I had long-term goals that I was willing to subscribe to, which was if I could make $1,000 a month, I could retire at 40 years old. So I had a 20-year plan. Contrast that with what you're thinking about trading. When you go to these IML bullshit things where they try to teach you how to get rich overnight, Lambo lifestyle. You know, it doesn't compute. It sets you up for failure because the only way you're going to anticipate success is if it happens to you fast. And if it takes a little bit more effort, you feel defeated. You feel like you're being held back. And then that emotional stimuli that you're creating within yourself, because you've been sold the idea falsely, fraudulently, that it should happen very quickly and easily because you went and you watched some videos, or you went to some kind of workshop, or you bought a software program that's supposed to tell you enigmatic entry points that fucking cause maximum drawdown by the user that created it on live streams every time they try to do it. All these things are going to be barriers for you in the beginning. And I try to be as practical as an educator as I can, and I don't sugarcoat it. I could come out here and say, everything I'm teaching is this, and never tell you the adversities it's going to cause you. But I tell you there's adversities, but you put your fingers in your ears and you say, I talk too much. But you need to know those things because if you don't know what they are, you won't know how to deal with them. When you're by yourself with your phone at work, during your smoke break, or in the bathroom trying to put on a scalp, trying to make a little bit of money to get yourself through the day, a little emotional, psychological bump to feel good about yourself because you hate your job. I've been there before. I know what that feels like. I know exactly what that feels like. But there's a wrong and a right way to do it. And I try very hard to try to communicate the things that you're probably going to make the errors in doing. So that way your mind is prepared to seize that moment and say, no, 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 that's the thing that ICT said. I'm probably going to make an error doing that or thinking this way. And it's going to lead to adverse results that you don't want. You want to see things objectively, and you want to see them in a balanced manner where you're not impulsively forcing your will on the marketplace. You have to be willing to accept the fact that you're probably going to do it wrong. In the beginning, you're going to do it wrong a lot. And those are opportunities not to shy away from or pretend they didn't exist. They're opportunities to shine a light on the very things that you need more work on. And you're trying to rush through because you either see me, other students of mine, other people that do things that may not even be true, may not even be real money. They may not have even done those things. People take my videos, if I forget to put a watermark on it, they're out there selling this stuff on Instagram like they did the trade. You have to be guarded. And that's why I tell everybody, don't take my word for anything. If I tell you something, go into the charts and see if it's there. That's why I do everything I do on Twitter. It's time and date stamped. When I point to something, it's there. Everybody sees it. If it doesn't, everybody's seen it. But you have to be willing to accept the fact in the beginning that you have to grow in your understanding. You have to understand that there's going to be things that are going to feel like it should be easy for you to figure out and learn real quickly. But then once you start looking at these candles and it's real time, live, and you don't know what's going to happen over here in this empty space on the right hand side, it becomes scary. That uncertainty becomes paralyzing and you're afraid to do something because you haven't spent enough time looking at all the stuff over here that tends to repeat at a specific time of day in a specific characteristic and manner of delivery. These things repeat over and over and over again. There's subtle little differences, but overall, they can be recognized. And that time of recognition is going to be dependent on how much time you spend studying old moves and capturing them and journaling them and filling in the empty spaces around it with annotations and observations that you're making. And it's okay to put in questions in here in the beginning, like, I want to focus on why this tends to happen in the marketplace. I see it happening and I want to learn more. Not, I don't know what's going on. This is always confusing. That's self-defeating. It causes and sows chaotic doubt. You don't want that in your journal. You want your journal to be this biggest cheerleading session, like the biggest fan of your work is writing that journal. And you're feeding that mental candy, if you will, to encourage your future self. Because this is hard, folks. This is very, very hard. And if you let it beat you down because you don't have a plan, you don't have a strategy, you don't have a study routine, you don't have a model to work with, a framework, a structure to which you go in and you look at it. Of course, you're going to get frustrated. Of course, you're going to feel like it doesn't work for you. Of course, it's going to feel like you aren't keeping up with the rest of us. But every single one of my students that are almost millionaires now, and I'm saying that with an M, millionaires, not with demo, they all got there by doing the things I'm telling them to do and avoiding the things I tell them not to do and limiting what they take from my repertoire. There's an arsenal of things and tools that I've taught. And I've given you a language to look at the marketplace and say, okay, this is what I see in price. I like this fluctuation between this point and that point. It tends to happen at this time of day in this particular market that I like trading. I have an affinity for this setup. That is your model. Don't chase anything new that I put out. I don't care how much money I make with it with a live account. I don't care how much money my son makes. I don't care how much anything that anybody else does with my stuff. That is not something that you should do. That is a trap. It's a trap. All it's doing, like a child, I saw a video actually. It was really interesting. This little boy was sitting at a desk, okay, and an adult put down a stack of money. I don't know the denomination, how much it was, but it was, it obviously if it was placed in front of you, you'd snatch it up real quick. And then they put like a piece of candy or two or something like, or a cookie, that's what it was. It was a cookie, two cookies or something like that. And then there was money piled, right next to the little boy. And they said, which one do you want? He went right to the cookie. Oh, that's that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. You're rushing to get that sugar high, that junk food idea of getting in on something you barely know how to do because you want to get the feel good moment. And you're avoiding the logic that lets you pick up the money that's laying right there every single day. Every single day, these markets are laying out the opportunity for you to make your ends meet. But you're looking for that sugar rush of getting in there and doing something because you want to be able to either gloat on social media or tell your spouse, look, it's not me wasting my time. I'm looking at all these charts. I'm listening to this asshole talk about things on the marketplace, on YouTube and Twitter spaces. And it's worth something now because look, I get it, folks. Trust me, I get it. I have a wife that still thinks this is all video games. And you saw this morning where I live. It's disruptive. But you have to have the expectation of you're going to have adversities in this. You're going to be met with real risk. That's why you shouldn't over leverage. That's why you should be using a stop loss. That's why you should have a model. You should be looking at one or two closely correlated markets at maximum. Do your due diligence and focus and limit your focus to what it is that you're risking money behind or placing the emphasis on trading in either a demo, a paper trading or tape reading event, that you're not trying to go in to make the maximum amount of money. If you're studying with the expectation that this is how much money I could have earned, and this is the maximum of it, you're doing it wrong. You're going after the cookie instead of picking up the money. You're trying to get all of this emotional and psychological reward from something that can come from look at the response that my son has had. One contract, one single micro contract, and the boy's made almost $2,000. He hasn't taken any trades yet since the last time I updated y'all because he's waiting for his payout. So hopefully that'll be resolved today or tomorrow. And it wasn't anything that Top Step did nefariously. It was the fact that the deal company that usually they were, I guess, paying through, there's an issue because one of the funded account companies out there got snagged by the CFTC, and deal got tapped on that, so they didn't want to do business with funded account firms anymore. So the money, I guess, will be paid through a standard wire transfer, or I don't know, but he did the paperwork on it. But look at the results of one contract, doing one setup, trying to get 10 handles or 10 to 15, risking 12 handles. Is that a lot? No. But did you make $2,000 in the last week doing whatever the hell you were trying to do? Have you had 100% strike rate every single day, a winning day that you traded? How about that? What's different? Oh, well, it's because it's ICT, son. Oh, it's ICT. It's ICT. You know, of course it's ICT. Either I'm a fraud and I can't trade, or I'm doing what? Getting lucky. Now it's my son. He's using logic. He failed and floundered doing it his own way. He tried to do it his own way, impulsively. Oh, it's like a video game. It's like a video game, Dad. It's going to be easy for me. Without logic. Trying to trade with 15 contracts on a $150,000 combine. And failed, 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 and failed. Got frustrated, wanted to quit, hated it. Then I gave him simple logic. Go for singles. As soon as you get it, you stop. You don't go back in again. Because the times that he did make money, he didn't find satisfaction in that. He wanted to go back in and get more. Because that sugar rush, that cookie mentality. Boy would be making $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 on a trade that he was over leveraged on. He ran through hell before the devil realized he was there. But he wanted to go back in again and tap dance in front of him. And then wondered why he stuck his pitchfork in his ass. You have to be dialed in. You have to know what you're looking for. You have to know why you're trading. Have realistic targets. When you hit them, stop. Over time, he will gravitate towards becoming a 20 to 25 handle trader. Then eventually he'll be looking for 30 to 50 handles. And then he'll be doing 100 handles. And then he'll be doing far less trading. My intentions is not for him to be trading every single day. My intentions for you as a student is not to trade every single day. And that sounds shocking, doesn't it? What do you mean? How am I going to make money doing that? You can make a lot of money doing 3 trades a month and enjoying your life. Day trading is not everyday trading. And many of you think that just because the markets are open, it's time for you to sit down, pull the slot machine arm down, and see what happens. And then you find out that you didn't like the outcome.